Not that you don't sound good on the
Media Monday.
Speak right into the mic.
Hey everyone, I'm Ron Klopfenstein and you're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. We want to welcome everyone who is streaming the video of this broadcast on Twitch or Facebook Live, as well as our audio streaming audience at 955theheat.com and on the TuneIn app. And those of you who are listening to the broadcast on 95.5 FM. We have a great show for you tonight. Amanda Costello, Tyler Babcock, and Alex Borczuk from 56 Sundays are here, and we're going to listen to some of the music of our sound engineer DJ Jay Easy at his performance last Friday at Levitt AMP Music. But first, we have two team members from the Central New York Roller Derby. Well, we have someone from the Central New York Roller Derby and someone from the Ladies Death and Derby Society here. So we want to welcome Megan Lyman, who is Chaos Reigns, and Rachel Dunbar, who is Raggedy Anguish. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So
Hi.
Should I be scared? So tell me, like, what is this roller derby? Because I have this image, like, from the 50s, from Happy Days, you know, Pinky Tuscadero, the tough girls, you know, playing roller skating. So what is roller derby like?
Pinky Tuscadero.
You want me to take it over?
What is this sport,
Roller Derby came back around most recently in about 2008. Probably from what you remember, it was played on a banked track, and some
I do.
Some teams.
Yes.
Some teams still
Happy
use
Days
the bank
Laverne
track.
and Shirley. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's played on a flat track now, and the rules and such have changed a little bit. It's still very intense. It's still, full contact sport, but there's a few more, I guess you would say, like, rules in place and stuff like that. So it's not quite as ruffian as it was back in the day, but still super intense, super exciting, and fun to watch.
It's a very athletic sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you actually doing in roller derby? Now, I actually did go to I did go to a match, so I did see a match, and like I'm trying to describe to people like what actually happens. It's kind of like you have to like kind of take other people down in a way, get past them.
Yeah.
So you're kind of doing laps.
Yeah, kind of. So like the first time that the jammer gets through, that was like I guess it kind of gives you the control of the game of when you can call it off, the end of that, what we call a jam.
Right.
Yeah, so basically what it is the jammer has to try to get through, and because then she's able to control the game, control the clock, and they're called the lead jammer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So similar to to compare this a bit to football, like where you have to take the ball and like get it to the end zone. In roller derby, like the team that's like up, I would say, like they have to get around the track a certain number of times, and it's up to the other team to stop them.
Yep.
Is that a good accurate description?
Basically what you're doing, so when you're a blocker on the track trying to block the opposite jammer, you're playing defense and offense sort of at the same time, very quick.
Oh, okay.
So like let's say that your jammer gets out, so she's lead, right?
So is the jammer the person who's kind of like equivalent perhaps to the quarterback?
Yeah, it would be like the quarterback. She's almost really the ball, because every time her hips specifically, but every time her hips pass the hips of another player on the opposite team, she's scoring 1 point for every person that she passes.
Oh, wow. So it's not just making one lap. It's every time that person who's the jammer, who's kind of like the quarterback and the ball in one, every time they get past another, someone from the opposing team, the team gets a point. So then it would be up to the jammer's teammates to kind of protect them, to play defense, and the other team would be playing offense to stop that. Is that a good way to?
In a way, so you kind of like, so let's say we have both of the teams out. We got all four blockers and both the jammers, and let's say that the other jammer got out, right? We couldn't stop her. She got out. She's fast. So now we have to quickly be offense to try to help our jammer. So what you're describing here
is like you're kind of like in a huddle in a way, but then like the jammer kind of like as if the quarterback breaks free of the pack and like gets to. So if you have a jammer who gets away from the defense trying to block them and they just kind of take off, you got to go catch them, right?
Yeah. So if they get out really quick, you can like quickly as long as it's within the 20 feet, you can quickly go and grab them. Let's make them swallow them back into we call it a pack.
Yeah,
So the group of skaters is called
Okay,
pack.
yep.
So like, let's say for example that, their jammer got out, we couldn't stop her. She got the 20 feet, she's gone, she's ready for her second lap. So now our jammer's suffering, she can't get out. Every time she gets hit, she gets blocked. We're gonna we're gonna go and we're gonna kind of help her out and make like holes for her to get through, knock the other blockers out so that she can get through. We can
act like linemen in a way.
Sort
Would
of.
that be sort of?
So there's like one like play that you would call, or right, we would call them plays where it's kind of like a cannonball. So like we wait for a second, wait for our jammer to get there, and then we're back here. So as she's like trying to get through and she can't get through, we can come and push the other blockers out of the way, kind of like cannonballs.
Oh, I see.
And then she's out. Like that's one of the examples of playing offense.
So
and
now,
then quickly before the other jammer, who's on their second pass, comes back around, we have to quickly adjust and make another wall again. So it's very quick. Like your brain has to be like going kind of fast.
Right.
Going back and forth.
To kind of seal that gap.
Yep.
Right.
And you also have to be like, have a certain stability too, and kind of be strong and hold your own out there.
Right. Now, what are you allowed to do within play? Like when, like you can grab somebody and like pull them behind you. Can you pull them to the ground or just behind you?
You can't use your hands. So
Oh, you can't. Oh, I thought that you could.
No.
So what can you do to block?
you can't use your hands on any people of the opposite team. Also,
Yeah,
I see.
There are
Oh, okay.
assists and ways, like I could grab, if she's my teammate, I can grab her hips and I can move myself around her.
That's
You
mostly
can't
what I
use your
saw
hands
when
on the
I-
opposite team.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to your own teammates.
But
Right,
you
right.
use any part of your body from the top of your knees all the way up to your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Any part of your body without your arms, like your arms kind of have to be against your body, so you're not flailing those and using them independently. But any
Right.
part of your body from your knees up to your shoulders, you hit your entire body into the other person, or get in their way, or lean on them to get them to go in the direction or get out of the direction that you want them to go.
So they want to go forward. You want to stop them and get them to knock them back a bit. Now, are both teams like up at the same time? Do both teams have a jammer that's going?
Yes.
Yep.
I see. So that's a different. I didn't understand that either. So it's not like one team was up to bat, one team the next team. It's like you
No,
both.
it's all at
both-
once.
So
Yeah.
two jammers at play at once, almost like two footballs, but going toward the same end zone.
Correct.
And I'm not really that knowledgeable about football. It's just the only thing I can try to make the listeners understand like how this works. So you have two jammers. Both teams are going in the same direction.
Yes.
Both jammers go in the same direction. Both jammers want to break out of the pack to like get past the other the opponent's team members, because
Yep.
each time they pass one, they get a point. And both teams want to hold back the other jammers, to not physically with their arms, but prevent them from going forward.
Correct.
Yep.
Wow. So what's it like to be in one of these games? It must be pretty intense.
It can be. It's like I said, it's very fast paced. It can be intense at times. Your brain has to be moving constantly, thinking of different plays. But honestly, you just kind of think, okay, I gotta hold the jammer back, I gotta save that, but then you also gotta think about helping your jammer too.
Right.
But there's also so you have your 4 blockers and you have your jammer, right? So there's
Okay.
4 on each team, or
Yeah.
5 on each team at once. But there's also a special blocker, and
Oh.
she is called a pivot.
Okay.
Where if, let's say, our jammer, she can't get out, she's stuck, she can take off, helmet cover, you can call it panty, we call it panties. A helmet cover, whichever. She can take that off and pass it to the pivot who's wearing the stripe on her head. And then
Yeah.
if it's like a legal pass hand to hand, it has to be hand to hand. You can't throw it. You can't
So
pick it
it's
up.
like she has a helmet on, but like a cover on top of it.
Yeah, like a
kind
cover
of like
you can rip off
like
of
a
it.
hairnet kind of thing, or like a
a little
shower
bit,
cap.
yeah.
Kind of
Yep,
thing?
a little
Yeah.
bit. And then once that other jam, like the pivot gets it.
So if the jammer feels like if is this like if the jammer feels that they need more support from defense?
she can't get out.
They hand it to the.
It's
they
a
pull up-
strategic move. If the
Okay.
jammer gets stuck and
Yep.
she eyes the pivot and they make
Yeah.
eye contact quick, and ideally the other team doesn't see this because sometimes they recognize it quick, right?
Right.
She takes off that cover, like you said, she hands it over to the pivot slips it on, and then she may be able to get out quicker. She may be in a better position
now
so
she's
the
to be able to
pivot
jammer.
becomes the jammer. Oh my
And then
gosh.
once
That's like a mind-blowing thing
And
here.
then
So,
once like she puts it on her head,
Yeah.
now that jammer is just a regular blocker.
So this is kind of like in football, like if someone throws the ball to someone else and they catch the pass, then they become they're the ones running the ball, right?
Sort of, yep.
Is that? I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's
because they
how it
could
works.
also be. So you could do that.
So someone
too.
can become a jammer who's
Yeah.
like a blocker can become a jammer by putting the thing on.
But it's only
see.
the one that's
It's only that
wearing
special
Yeah, wearing
blocker.
the other helmet cover with the line across it. She's the
I
only
see.
one that can do it, and those two are the
Okay.
only ones that can touch the jammer panty.
Oh, so you
if it
decide
falls-
in advance who's going to be the one who can accept the panty?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm pivot. So, but if
Okay.
it falls on the ground, the only two that can pick it up is the jammer and the
Are those
pivot.
two.
So if the pivot picks it up off the ground, she has to like hand it to the jammer. But another thing that they can do too to kind of distract is she can pretend like she's going to hand it, and then they're looking at the pivot or looking at the pivot instead of the jammer, and then you're distracting them, and then it's another move to get
I
out.
see. So that's some of the
Yeah.
the strategy there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different strategies.
So how did you guys get involved in this? Like, how did you first hear about roller derby?
I had heard about it just I think on Facebook. I thought it was really cool.
That's actually where I found about you.
Yeah,
guys,
and I
you know?
had always loved to skate.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd been into the punk hardcore scene, and that kind of just made sense
Yeah.
for me. And I kind of needed something after my daughter's father and I split. It kind of,
Yeah.
and then my daughter in turn, she played since she was 9 until 16, 17. She played a long time too, and she's very good. And she comes and she skates with me now that she's an adult. So
I'll bet you found some really nice camaraderie when you got
Yeah.
involved, like
Yep.
after breaking up with somebody. It must have been a really nice, the team experience, you know?
Yep, because
Yeah.
there is a juniors team like that you
Oh,
saw
nice.
that one time when you came. The juniors were playing as well.
So,
Yep.
Rachel, what came about so that the Ladies Death and Derby Society are teaming up with Central New York? Well, like, what is happening on Saturday?
So our team's based out of Oneida, and these guys out of CNY, and we are both pretty small
I'm
teams.
gonna put that mic right in your face there.
Yeah, we're both pretty small teams, 6 to 7 people. COVID kind
And
of
you
took.
got to have 5 to be on the field, right? Or to be
5
on
at
the,
a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And to
Ideally,
safely play a game, you want at least 12.
ideally
Yeah,
you want
people
12
get
to
tired.
15.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, we're borrowing skaters and trying to, to
Oh,
fill
yeah.
rosters and such like that. And after, Derby in general kind of took a hit after COVID. So
I'll bet
we've
that.
been advertising and trying to build back up. So we've borrowed skaters for them. They've borrowed skaters from us for years, and we just decided to partner up for a while to kind of start rebuilding the sport in this area and
Yeah, get people
making
to see
sure our
that.
leagues are successful.
Yep, because
No.
her team had a game the same day ours did too, and within the same town. They were in New Hartford, we were in Clinton. You know what? Let's just go together and
Exactly.
make one big
So
big
is
game.
that why the double header thing's on the weekend because of the 2 games?
Yeah.
So, like, what will people see? Like, if someone comes to roller derby, like, how much does it cost? What is it like? What do they see?
You first come in, it's $10 to get in. Kids under 12 are free. So you come in and you kind of just hang out a little bit. You kind of see random skaters.
It's a really like friendly kind of artsy vibe because
Yeah.
I was there to do a story. I actually put a link to the story like if you want to see it. It's from a few months ago I think, but really like fun kind of vibe, kind of creative vibe. People like with costumes and stuff. I really like that,
Yep. So this time we decided to do kind of like a Summerween theme, so a
Yeah.
Halloween summer theme.
Right.
And also kind of make it into like a fun little fundraiser. So the first
Yeah.
game we are playing against the Long Island Rebels, so the mix of the 2 teams and a couple other borrowed skaters. And then the second one is kind of like a scrimmage that other people can sign up for and
Oh,
come
nice.
play with us. And basically what they're going to do is we're all going to dress up different costumes
Yeah,
this time. And
with the like Summerween kind of
kind of like the Halloween
I
theme.
like that.
And then people are going to be able to pay us to do silly things on the track.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so
What a
like
cool
let's say
idea.
someone pays $5 for all of the blockers to be up to be like zombies, or the next thing is everyone to put on a wig, or one that we actually sold today, like sold ahead of time, was named the penalty box.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So yep.
Cool. And who's it raising money for?
For us, for our next season. Yep.
Yeah, and you guys have done a lot like to raise money for, like, you did stuff for Pride Month and stuff. That's why you came out. It's a very charitable. You're kind of a charitable group, you know.
Yeah, we also try to do different charities once in a while when we can, raise money for other organizations as well, to try to be in the community.
So if somebody is interested, like, and wants to get involved or find out more information, I know you guys have a Facebook page. What's a good way to, like, get involved, or what would be like, what would make a good roller? What's the word? Roller derbyist, roller derbyer. What makes a good roller derbyer? Probably like have to be team oriented, I would think.
Yeah, team oriented.
Good on skates.
You don't actually have to be good on skates. So there's all kinds of opportunities to get involved with the teams. So a lot of people are a little intimidated because they say, well, I can't skate, or I don't know if that looks dangerous or whatever. So there's lots of opportunities to get involved with the team. We have something called NSOs, which are non-skating officials. So referees and people who do the scoreboards, people
like
who track
volunteer
the
to
penalties.
do that? Yeah.
It takes a whole village to run about like we're doing. So, you can be a skater. You don't have to know how to skate in advance. You don't have to have any experience. You also don't have to have any gear. Both of our teams are equipped with
interesting.
borrowed gear, and teams that will let you come in brand new, teach you how to skate, teach you how to fall, teach you how to do all the things. You don't have to have any prior skill or anything like that.
Yeah, you can come to a boot camp. Hopefully we'll have boot camps coming up in the fall time.
Oh, nice. Just to let us know. We'll let people know.
Because we definitely need more members so that we can continue to do this. Because like I said, we're kind of small right now, both of the teams. And hopefully we'll be able to work together in the future.
It seems like it's open to all ages too, which is nice. It's something that older people can get involved in too. So it's like, that's really great. So we've been talking to Megan Lyman, who's Chaos Reigns, and Rachel Dunbar, who's Raggedy Anguish. They're from Central New York Roller Derby and the Ladies Death and Derby Society. You can join them at the Summer Ring doubleheader on Saturday, August 23rd at 2 p.m. at the Clinton Arena. When we come back, we'll meet Amanda Costello, Tyler Babcock, and Alex Borczuk from 56 Sundays. And later, we'll listen to the sounds of some of the sounds of our sound engineer, DJ Jay Easy. He performed last Friday at the AMP Music Series. I'm Ron Klopfenstein. You're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. I'll have more after the break. This is Ron Klopfenstein. You're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. Hey everyone, welcome back to the hot seat on this Media Monday. Amanda Costello, Tyler Babcock, and Alex Borczuk are here, and they have just formed a band. So tell me about 56 Sundays. How did you come up with that name? Amanda, I'm going to ask you first, because you're my student. This would be the first year that I ever taught high school. You were in my class, 11th grade, New York Mill. So this would be the 2018-2019 school year, I think.
Yeah.
Boy, what a wonderful time we had together.
It was a long time ago, but it was great.
It seems like a million years ago, but also seems like yesterday.
I know.
It's
great. Weird the way it works.
What a good student you were.
Thank you.
I'm not surprised that you're artistic and doing stuff,
Thank you, yeah.
So tell me about this band you're going to form.
So we all actually went to OCC. We were music education majors, and we all majored in our instruments. So I was a voice major.
Okay.
Alex was a drum major, and Tyler was a guitar major. And we were just a friend group, and we decided, let's start a band. We always wanted to, and decided now would be the time to do it.
Putting together a band, like with any team, what really matters in the beginning stages are the people and how you get along and how you deal with, I think especially with a band, with artistic and creative differences. Mm-hmm. So how do you guys, why don't you introduce your team and kind of tell me how did you guys come together?
So this is Alex.
Hi.
Hey Alex.
And this is Tyler.
Hello.
So Alex Borczuk, what do you play?
I play drums.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. I've been playing drums my whole life. My dad was a drummer, so I grew up with drums in the house and all throughout, school and all that, playing drums.
And you're an OCC student now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So you're a student with Amanda.
Yep.
So you want Amanda like that. So and we have Tyler as well. Tyler, what is your instrument? We're gonna have to get used to passing this mic back and forth, but you'll get used to it there. Kind of put it in the middle of you guys and maybe stick your face in closer when the time comes.
Yep. So I play guitar. I've been playing guitar for like 15 years.
Wow.
And like these guys, we just graduated from OCC. And my whole thing was to go to school to kind of like legitimize what I do and have something to, just a piece of paper to show that, I actually know how to play.
It does that.
Hopefully it'll be worth something in the future, but it's worth it to me, so.
So you got a singer, you got a drummer, and you guitar players?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So why you three? Like why you three come together and do you all have the same like similar interest in music or like the same kind of genres you like to pursue or same goals? Like what is it about you three that makes a good trio? You're a trio.
Yeah, so we all like similar music. We all like alternative rock and roll, and we just felt that this would be a good pairing because we were all really good friends before we started this, and we felt like we would just work well together. We have a lot of similar opinions. We handle conflict well. Not that there's really been any conflict, but any disagreements we've handled well. We've come to compromises.
So what is 56 Sundays? Where's that name come from?
So every Friday in school, I would always work on like my contemporary stuff because we had to do classical music. It was part of the requirements, and I would do that all week. And then on Fridays, I was just able to do whatever I wanted to, just practice whatever I wanted to. And every semester had 14 academic weeks in it. Times the 4 semesters we were there, it was 56 Fridays, and
so your college has like your college has 4 quarters? Like
yeah, so it was just a community college, so it was just 2 years. So it was 4 semesters.
Oh, I see, like over the two years.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years, so there's 52, I see, so there's 52 Fridays a year, but only 15 weeks in a semester. So I'm not really good at math, so I'm like totally confused.
Over the course of 2 years, there was 56 Fridays.
Yeah.
So if you're a student, you're going to be at school as a student for 56 Fridays over the course of 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, I was totally confused about that.
Yeah.
Math's hard.
Right.
I'd use a calculator for it.
So 56 Fridays, so you have your genre. What are your first steps?
So this summer was more so about establishing. We realized that it was a little bit too late to try to book gigs this summer because everywhere had already filled up. But we've just been working on covers. We don't want to stay a cover band. We do want to move into doing our own original work. But for right now, we're just trying to get ourselves out there, trying to do covers. And then we're going to work on originals throughout this year and try to book some gigs for next summer.
Cool. So Tyler, you've been doing this for 15 years, you said?
Yeah.
So in 15 years, like, have you done, are you mostly doing covers still yourself individually, or do you write some of your music? Or?
I've been in various bands before that have done originals, but even like the covers that we're doing now aren't like direct exact covers. They're especially with Amanda's voice, it kind of totally changes the feel and sound of whatever song we're playing. So it's, even though they're covers, they are kind of our original takes on them.
So you guys are like putting a unique signature style.
Yeah.
So it's not like jukebox style band, you know.
So Amanda, why don't you tell me like what is a song? You know, as a person who sings, you know, I wonder because I don't sing. So like you have a song that is, say, a song that's like on the radio that we're familiar with, that you're familiar with. How do you interpret that and give it your own kind of spin? Kind of like, you know, it's interesting because I'm thinking like now, I'm thinking back, flashback here, like text analysis essays. So like you're looking at someone's a song, the lyrics there, and you have to think to yourself like, what does the person mean, and then how do you change it so that it becomes your take on that song?
So usually what I start with is I learn it, and then as I'm singing it, I kind of think of how I can relate to this song, and I kind of just pour my emotions into it.
Can you give me an example of one? Like, what are some, you said you do like a kind of alternative type stuff, and like,
Yeah.
like what's a song that like for any of you guys that like really speaks to you, or like where you can think like where you maybe interpreted it like in your own way, either individually or as a group, you know? I wonder like with guitar and drums, like how do you personalize stuff?
Well, even something like we were actually just listening to a recording of it on the way here, but we do a cover of Chris Isaak's Wicked Game, but it's
cool.
actually a kind of a cover of a cover, because in the 2000s a band called Him did a cover of it, and we just really liked that. So it's kind of a cover of a cover, so it's a little heavier, but it's not like metal, and it's kind of, you know, a little bit heavy, but really melodic, and with Amanda's voice it just makes it kind of, you know, beautiful, sort of, you know.
As a guitar player, how do you make it beautiful in what you play with your instruments?
Well,
I'm going to ask you that, Alex.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you that too. Like, how do you, like, as a drummer, how do you approach a piece of music? So, Tyler, why don't you go first? And
well, kind of like Amanda, like I would just learn it like straightforward first, and then try
like the Chris Isaak one on the radio and stuff.
And then try to see what I can do with it, or like. In a case of that, I would listen to both versions and see what I like, pick and choose. But of course, like with everything I want to do, I want to try to make it my own. Mm-hmm. So, and I think with music is just like any art, it's like your fingerprint will come through no matter what. So everyone has their own, even if I'm just trying to play it exactly like the studio recording, it's still going to sound a little bit like me no matter what.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, it would have to, I think. Yeah. So with drums, what is the drum player like when a drum player looks at a piece of music? Like, what do you see?
So I mean,
you know, pull yourself up there.
If it's if it's a like a pre-recorded song, it's kind of like Amanda said. You know, listening to it and figuring out how I relate to it. You know, drums are therapeutic for me. I get to hit stuff.
Next, yeah.
You know, so. You know, we play some sort of like angry song. I'm like, yeah, I can really, you know, channel through this. The same thing if it's more relaxed. You know, you sit back and you let it flow a little bit. Yeah. So you know, for cover songs or songs that we're trying to like restylize, stuff like that. You know, just kind of feeling how I feel about the song personally and putting that into how I play. It's the same thing if I'm trying to write a drum part to an original song. You know, unless Amanda's got some idea about how she wants it to sound specifically, you know, just kind of pick up the vibe and like, do I want to play faster or slower or louder? Or like, you know, putting your own kind of touch on it.
I'm thinking that probably like the percussion, the drums in any band would have a lot, would be really instrumental, I guess is the word, in setting the tone, because like you're boom, boom, like you're really doing like the, also like the beat, I would say too, right?
Yeah,
and, like,
for sure. I mean, that's... You know, it's the part that people move to, right? So, like, if you're playing a show and you want people to get moving, it's...
Oh, right. The audience as well as your band members.
Right. You want to, you know, it's that's the part that you're really going to feel.
Yeah.
And how you're going to feel this song, you know, versus if I'm playing it single time or half time and it sounds slower, or double time and it sounds super quick. You know, being able to manipulate the song in that way, it's with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah.
It must feel really good because you are like expressing your art by doing that.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, were you one of the kids like as a kid? Like, do you always bang on stuff? Like,
I got it. You would have hated me if you had me as a teacher because I'm just in the desk.
Like that. So you can tell me, Amanda. I'm like cool with all that kind of stuff. So.
I had an algebra teacher my 11th grade year, and she'd always get pissed at me. Sitting there tapping on the desk with my fingers. She's like, "Can you shut up?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm not even aware that I'm doing it. I'm just."
When you were like a kid and you were like that, could you know or could you tell or could other people tell, like maybe your teachers or your parents, like that when you were doing that, like that you actually like could like maybe keep time or like make notes with that? Like, did you feel like there's something to like being on stuff that like actually is like I'm actually like communicating something?
Yeah, I think, you know, maybe my academic teachers didn't get it so much, but certainly...
It's too bad because it's the kind of thing where like sometimes people, by doing that, like just whatever, the noise they make, to them, like I think they're remembering stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I really feel like that. Like I do that at times. Too.
Yeah.
So like I understand that people are like that.
Yeah.
So are you like that too?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I sort of
it's
feel
just-
like when I introduce my segments, I kind of like speak in a rhythm too, like with a kind of a pounding.
Yeah,
So.
I had percussion teachers in high school that were like, when you're sitting there in class and you're bored out of your mind, like maybe you don't actually tap on the desk, but like run through everything.
Right,
And so
right.
it's the same idea though, right? Like
Yep.
getting a little bit of practice in your
Yep.
spare time.
I bet it was also good for like to reduce anxiety too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I take Adderall, so
Yeah, well, me too. So I understand what that's like. So, and like sometimes when you have those exercises in your head, like at times when you're stressed out, like you can like kind of be thinking about that, and like it kind of allows you to like zone out without people knowing that you zoned out.
yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Which is good if you're a student. You don't want your teachers to know you zoned out. But sometimes you have to, and sometimes life is just too much. You know.
Yeah.
So Amanda, how would you describe your style? You know, Wicked Game is a song that we're all pretty familiar with, Chris Isaak, you know. How would you describe your take on this? Like what would Wicked Game be like? How would Wicked Game be described as sung by Amanda Costello? When you're hearing it, thinking about it, singing it, having it come through you, what are you thinking about?
I just think about the lyrics really, and like the emotion that was probably put into them when it was being written.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of pour my own emotion into it, and just how much I love singing. Like I don't know, it's like everything else in my brain goes away, and I just kind of am in the moment with it, and whatever comes out comes out.
Just kind of flow.
Yeah,
So now, if you're going to write a song, and have you written songs? Have you written
I
songs?
have. We're still working on getting employed together though.
So, if you're doing that, it's kind of the opposite process, I think. Like where you're not like, with Chris Isaak, with the cover songs, you take the text, you interpret it, and then you put your own spin on this. You play it, and it comes out naturally with your own spin because you're individuals. Or in the reverse, like you're starting from scratch, like an empty page or empty Google Doc, or the guitar is there, your voice is quiet. So how do you start to build a song? Individually and also collectively. So let me ask all of you, like, when you're creating stuff, we have a few months before this segment ends, when you're creating original stuff, like, you're just sitting there, maybe Amanda, maybe you're singing a little, or do you sing? Like when you start to make a song, do you first write it? Do you first sing it? Do you pick up the guitar? Do you bang on stuff? What's your process for like the early stages of something brand new?
Usually for me, it's like, I do love poetry and writing, and for me it just, like I'll think of lyrics and I'll write them down, and then I'll come up with a melody for them, and then I'll give them that idea and let them have the creative freedom of what to do with the guitar and the drum parts. So that's the way it's been going so far, but there's different methods of doing it.
So is it important to you to first tap into the emotion you want to express, or do you first like start with the words you want to say?
I would say the emotions I want to express.
And then you find the words after that.
Right, and usually the whole feel of the song goes with like what I'm trying to convey, like what emotion I'm trying to convey.
What you're describing is something that I can like totally get behind and imagine as someone who writes.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like how you do that as playing guitar or playing drums, like how you do something brand new. So you guys are going to have some time to think about your answer because we're going to take a break here. But I want to ask you that when we come back, like how do you create new stuff? I can, I've had the experience of like you, obviously as a writer, I've sat down with blank document on the computer, or paper, just thought of like, what do I want to say about this thing and how do I say this? But I really can't imagine any other way to really do that. I can imagine drawing a thing, but not really with a guitar or with drums. So when we come back, I'm going to ask you guys that question there. So we are talking still to Amanda Costello, Tyler Babcock, and Alex Borczuk from 56. Is it Fridays? I keep saying Sundays. I keep saying it wrong on the thing. If I do that, you got to stop me, okay? Because I heard myself say it, and then I heard you say it right, and I thought, oh crap, So they are from 56 Fridays. So if I say that wrong, correct me here. We'll have more of them when we return. Also, we're going to listen to some of the music of our sound engineer, DJ Jay Easy, who performed last Friday at the Levitt AMP Music Music Series. I'm Ron Klopfenstein. You're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. More after the break. debuting the Hot Seat on Media Monday. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. On the next Hot Seat Media Monday, we'll talk to indie filmmaker Mona Chafee. She'll be debuting her psychological suspense thriller Bonnie Rabbit next Tuesday at the Tram. There's also going to be a fundraiser for the Spring Farm Cares. For information on upcoming episodes of the Hot Seat Media Monday, as well as the show notes, video, and podcasts of last episodes, go to uticaphoenix.net/Media Monday. Last week, Levitt AMP Music Series presented one of their extra Friday bonus concerts. 95.5 FM's DJ Easy was one of the performers.
Hi everybody. Let's come here once a year. And we've been doing it since this whole thing started. Also, so many good friends and faces in the crowd. I usually give a little kind of story about my own personal thing with music. I love music. I love live music. My mother jammed that violin down my throat just in Taiwan when I was 3 years old. And it turned me like, oh, this love of music. We're playing classical and then going to shows, which I absolutely love to do. But I got no real story for it. I just really, it's the last year I want to say thank you to really Michelle, this is a labor of love. And we're all here enjoying this. Everybody, I see a lot of fandoms there. I know a lot of people in the community do a lot for this community. And it's hard to do. This is not easy to do. We're at this level. I wanted to meet Michelle, give a big shout out to Michelle, Gia, and all of the staff. I see Lee, there's a whole bunch of people who work shirts. So thank you very much to all of you. Love it. And my man Jay Easy was here. I know Phoenix Radio's in the house. Sandra's here somewhere. Love that radio station. Jay Easy played on New Year's Eve last year. We loved having him. DJ, let me turn it up. Turn it up. Get my car. Let it boom now. Come in the boom now. We can get it on, baby. That's what's up. DJ, could you turn it up? Turn it up. Get my car. Let's go. Cause I'm in the boom now. We can get it on, baby. That's what's up. And it don't stop. Levitt AMP 25. It don't stop. Check it, see it, it don't stop. Lay Lonnie in the house. It don't stop.
DJ J-Eazy is here in the studio now. So who are you performing with? And the last I was there, one of the people was Amos Donnell, who's been on the show a few times. And who's Leilani?
Leilani is a dear friend of mine, actually like a family member. I've known her since she was basically a toddler and I was a teenager, and we just grew up together. Our family's always been like real close, and
great singer.
Once I found out she could sing, and I rap.
Has she been on your show before?
She has.
Yeah. I think I've heard her on the show. Yeah, I was super impressed with her.
We've done a few joints together, and I've written songs that she's recorded.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done a lot of music together, and more to come.
It was nice to see Amos there too.
Yeah, that's my little brother right there, Amos Donnell. Shout out to Amos Donnell. You know what I mean? We when I performed at New Year's Eve, I dropped that new joint, this First Class Woman joint with him and Leilani. So,
I think I saw it with that part. Yeah.
Yep. So I wanted to, run it back, at Levitt AMP this past
Yeah.
Friday. So, yeah.
You know, another from there was comedian Jay Watch too. This popped into my head. I should tell him. Jay Watch wants. I got pictures of him on my phone from when he was on the show, but I don't know what pictures he wants. Every time I see him, he wants the pictures from my phone. But I just remind. So Jay Watch, when you see me, I'm just going to give you my phone. You take the pictures off that you want because I don't know what pictures from when he was on the show.
Yeah.
So. You know what? Also, I wanted to include the part with Barry Sinnott too, because I go to all these events for the show to cover all these arts events. So many of them are sponsored by Bank of Utica. That's it's like they do so much to add to the culture of this area. I had to get that in there because shout out to Bank of Utica.
Yeah, that's my guy right there, Barry Sinnott.
Yeah.
We actually have to link up because there's been talks about collaborating on some projects together. So
wow, that's really cool. And then we can be at New Year's Eve, I imagine, probably. So you were at the last one. That was pretty cool. So
right, got to give opportunity to other artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got.
What are you working on though?
A few different things.
Of course,
actually.
you're on here like 3 times a week. So,
yeah. I'm on here Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. But as far as my music personally, I was working on a few different projects, but then I decided to just condense them into one.
Oh, so what's the project?
It's going to be called just For the Love.
Okay.
Because I was doing a second album called Still Climbing. I was doing a LL Cool J Volume 3 mixtape.
Yeah.
And I was doing an inspirational project. And I was thinking about it, and really what it all boils down to is just, it's all about love,
Yeah.
No matter what type of love it is, whether it's, godly love, whether it's romantic love, whether it's family love, or love of life, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's all about love. So I just decided I was going to take the best songs from each project that I was working on, bring them together and just put it out called For the Love. So I'm working on that.
So this will be a CD? Or not a physical copy, but the digital.
Well, if people want physical copies,
what do you call them? Are they still called that? It's an album or
Yeah, they're still called albums.
They're albums, right?
Vinyl over the years has regained traction.
Oh yeah, so, they're not necessarily a record or a CD, but they're anytime you put a group of songs, that's what it's still called.
Well, CDs are still made. They're slowly becoming more and more obsolete because everything is more digital now. So of course you have the streaming platforms and things like that. So it'll definitely be online, but I'll have to get maybe a few physical copies made because I know some people still use CDs.
Yeah. So where will you have you recorded it, or will you record it, or?
Most of the stuff is already recorded. I have a couple songs in mind that I need to finish writing so I can record them. But once that's done, then I'll start the process of finalizing the project, put it all together, and get ready to put it out.
Yeah, well, to talk about it on this show, of course, you'll talk about it on your show, I'm sure too. So.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Allison Tyler, I'm going to go back to you with a hard question that I had. When you are, I can imagine the process that Amanda would go through to compose a song. Jesus was going to take your mic there and give it to one of those guys over here. I can imagine the process that Amanda would go through to write a song. Because, I've written stuff. I can think, I have an idea, or I have a feeling I want to express, and I can write down, and, I can have a character experience it, or I can talk about me experiencing it. So, if you are just coming up, you want to compose with drums or with guitar, how does a person do that?
Well, it depends really, and there is no one way to do it. There's so many ways to do it, but with me, typically, it depends, but if there's already something there, I'll work off of that. If there's already a melody or an idea or something, but if it's just something from scratch, it could just be something I think sounds cool, or a nice chord progression, but it has to fit the vibe of whatever the idea is. And when it comes to melody on guitar, or especially soloing, playing lead stuff, that is more I just don't think like I'll figure out like the key or whatever, and then I'll just solo. And I have, you know, to me, I call it like a bag of tricks, like every guitar player has that they'll do.
What's your bag of tricks?
Well, it's just like different techniques,
Yeah,
different
yeah.
like licks that every guitar player, and I'm sure it's the same like with drummers, like with fills, like kind of signature things or things you know how to do, and with like solos especially, you just solo and then take the best parts, and even a lot of like some of the most famous guitar solos of all time, the guitarist will take like 6, 7, 8 takes, record them, and you know back in the day when it was literally tape you would splice,
Yeah.
they would take all the best parts and splice the tapes together, or just record, you know, do one more take with all the best parts of all those solos they put together.
Because every time it's a little bit different, right?
Especially with soloing, that's where like the soul kind of comes through.
Oh, okay.
And really like I was kind of saying earlier, like your fingerprint, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
especially like improvising, you know, like improvising is to me like the essence of each player.
I would think so. Can you improvise with drums though?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little spoiled. I have the easy job. I don't have to like come up with a melody or chords or anything like that. They come to me with an almost finished product, and they're like,
and you have to make it so that like you're like, what is a drummer like in your own? What would you say a drummer does?
You know, the feel. I think.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
like the pace, kind of.
Right. You know, like we were talking about before the break. Just you know, this is what people move to, and it's gonna really set the tone, I guess. So you know, she's got the important job of like making words that sound good, and he's got to make a melody that sounds good, and all I have to do is hit stuff. So
well, you also, I think, would be very responsible for the consistency too.
Yeah, I mean, time,
which is a big job.
Yeah, time is obviously like the real core of what we do.
Music.
You know?
Right?
Yeah,
Timing,
you know, making
right,
sure that you know everybody stays in time and we don't speed up or slow down. Like that's like step one thing they teach you to do in like 4th grade when you start doing band.
What did they teach you at college, like for music? What did you learn?
A lot of really fancy stuff that makes other people look at you like you're weird. You know, I remember I had a concert about my freshman year must have been, and my parents came to watch. And they're like, why are you holding 2 sticks in each hand? And they're like, what's the point of that? And I was like, that's just, it's kind of typical, you know, in the world of percussion.
To hold 2 drumsticks?
Well, like mallets. So, you know, we'll be hitting like a xylophone, and it's like a big keyboard, and you have
right.
4 mallets in 2 hands. And
because it must look really cool, too. So that's probably the stuff that looks like really cool.
But it's, you know, it's a lot of stuff like that. Once you hit college, you're past, here's how you hold the drumstick, but...
of course. Well, like, I would think, like, probably theory, too. Like,
lots of theory.
Yeah.
You know, that goes for all 3 of us. You know, we all...
How about history? Like, are there great, like, who are the great drummers, like, in history, like, that you would study?
Oh, man. I mean, it depends on what you want to play.
Like,
you know.
Buddy Rich?
Buddy Rich, I mean, I have my own opinions about Buddy Rich, but...
it's just a name that, like, I'm familiar with.
Yeah, you know, so, like, a lot of old jazz guys like Buddy Rich or... Art Blakey is a favorite of mine.
What are your opinions on him, by the way, on Buddy Rich?
I think he's a great drummer.
Too controversial for radio.
Yeah.
Is he? I didn't.
I have my opinions on how he ran his band, but
well, I'm gonna have to look this up as soon as we get out there.
You know, I can't argue with his legacy as a drummer, but you know, John Bonham is one of my favorites. Led Zeppelin.
Why?
Just the way he innovated rock and you know the beginning of like metal drumming.
So like what time period would this be, like the 70s or 80s?
Yeah, it's, you know, 70s, 80s.
And was he with any group or like who was
Zeppelin.
Oh,
Zeppelin.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, right.
So, you know, you go from like your 50s, like doo-wop drums, and it's all super light and fun, and then Zeppelin comes in and Bonham comes in and he's beating the crap out of these drums, and it totally changed the way, you know, he was doing stuff with his kick drum that people had never seen before. So like he's one of my big influences. Dave Grohl from Nirvana, the same thing, just big heavy hitter,
with it,
and totally changed the way of like alternative drumming through the 90s.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of other guys that if I started spewing their names, nobody would know who I'm talking about.
Right. Well, let me ask you, and I'm like how about you? And in a minute, I'm going to ask you that next too. Like, who's in guitars? Like, who is someone in guitar? Tyler. Like, who's someone in guitar? Like, who is transformative to into the instrument or to the genres that you're familiar with?
Yeah, well, of course, I mean, with guitar, anybody knows. Like, even if somebody has no idea about music, they know Jimi Hendrix. And it was kind of night and day. You know, once Jimi Hendrix came, it changed everything, and guitar was
How?
different.
For people that don't know, how did it change?
Well, he wasn't the first, but he was the first to really make it his own style of just cranking the amps to 11, playing with feedback, playing with so much feel over technique. You know, he was using effects which back then in the 60s were, you know, just even like a wah pedal that was new at the time.
Yeah.
And he was making noise that was, you know, it's kind of almost like, I would say like, not really abstract art, but like he turned it into more of a feeling than anything. And his shows, you know, burning guitars and smashing guitars and kind of more of a performance art.
Yeah.
You know, in fashion, even the way he dressed, the way he acted, the attitude of the music changed. But kind of, you know, he's talking about John Bonham. Like, a huge reason I play guitar is because of Jimmy Page. Like, when I was little and I saw The Song Remains the Same, I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Zeppelin is one of the ones, like, music is today what it is, you know,
Right.
because of.
Man, let me ask you that for musician, pull your mic over there. Like, who's a singer that really inspired you? That, and then I'm going to ask you, what's next for 56 Fridays, and we're going to be done.
All right. I pull inspiration from pretty much everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I like all genres, and I feel like everyone has their own style. And I feel like you should never settle at like one genre.
I
you
like
should
that.
pull inspiration from everywhere. So I don't really have a fixed answer for that.
So what is next for you guys with 56 Fridays?
So I would definitely say we just really want to get our first gig somewhere.
Yeah.
We just want to get our name out there.
Yep.
We really want to work on kind of like building our social media and building a little bit of a following. And then our originals. We want to record our originals. And
well, you got to keep us informed here. You know, we're going to keep our listeners up to date on what you're doing. You guys, I'm sure, will be back here on the show at some point too. Our guests today were Megan Lyman, who is Chaos Reigns, and Rachel Dunbar, who is Raggedy Anguish from the Central New York Roller Derby, and also from the, what's the other one? The Ladies Death and Derby Society. Join them on Saturday for a Summerween double header on the 23rd at 2 p.m. at the Clinton Arena. We also hung out with Amanda Costello, Tyler Babcock, and Alex Borczuk. They're from 56 Fridays. And later, we also listened to Jay-Z's performance from Levitt AMP last Friday. If you'd like to hear the show again, or want to see the YouTube version of the pre-recorded segments or the feature stories, or the video and podcast of the show online Wednesday at unicaphoenix.net/Media Monday. Our sound engineer is Jonathan Brooks. He's DJ Jay Easy, and he's up next with the Easy Ride Home. Jim Hale records the show for YouTube and podcast. Lily Christopher is our associate producer. Nabil Khan is our entertainment correspondent. And I'm Ron Klopfenstein. I'll be back next week with another Hot Seat Media Monday. Stay here.